Hello, everybody. This week we are introducing orange, and our first word for orange is recovery. And I really liked Molly's post on recovery because not only did it talk about recovery emotionally, but she also touched on her experience with having COVID-19 and her recovery from that illness and the lingering side effects that have affected her sense of smell and how that's affected her life. And how that feeling of sort of melancholy that exists for her because those olfactory senses are such a huge part of who she is and the enjoyment and pleasure she gets out of life, using oils and essential oils and food and all of the things that we enjoy with our sense of smell. And I know that recovery has a lot of meaning. There's a lot of things that you can consider stages of recovery. And I was thinking about it from a really broad perspective all the way down to a really narrow perspective. So I talk a lot about grieving and loss and the stages that we all go through when we lose something. And I think that recovery period, it's really important to look at how broad that feeling of loss can be and how many things can impact that. So anywhere from big things that we lose. So losing a family member, losing parents, losing loved ones. It's especially sensitive in this time when so many people are ill and so many people are struggling with this pandemic, all the way to divorces, separations, losing jobs, all the way down to what I thought was really interesting about recovery for me, what came to me when I was meditating on recovery, was that even simple things, so when you're talking about daily habits and things that we're trying to do to change our lives, so things that we're trying to do to focus and pay attention on our thinking, our internal thought processes, our ability to express those internal thoughts in a way that people can understand, in a way that takes accountability for our place in things, that gives validation to the place that the other person is coming from. But when we're talking about even something as simple as a habit, there is a phase of recovery in that when we lose one habit to replace it with another. So when I think about something as really life impacting as an addiction, that recovery phase of being addicted to something has those same feelings of loss. It has the anger, it has the denial, it has all of those same emotional aspects as any loss does. So when we think about a really big loss and a big recovery, a long period of time that it takes to recover from a very big traumatic loss, to even a minor shift in our daily habits and the loss and recovery that we experience from those little daily habits, I think it's important to stay kind to yourself. So that internal dialogue that can be really negative for a lot of us, to remember that there's a little version of yourself in there, a very delicate version of yourself in there. I like to imagine it as a child, a small Cassie, and to be kind to that person as they go through loss, as they go through recovery, as they change and grow and improve or have setbacks in their life, that it's really important to remember, no matter what you're recovering from, that you remember that this will pass, that every day we're just going through life, and every day, if we're blessed to have an opportunity to wake up the next morning, we have a chance for another day. So on the bad days, on the tough days, remember to be kind to yourself, be sensitive to your feelings, and be mindful of that internal thought process, that way that you speak to yourself, and continue that on a good day. If you're having a good day, spread that joy, spread that those positive feelings and that kind, empathetic space that you have with those around you, and be sensitive to where they are. So maybe if you're having a really tough day or a really tough month or a really tough year, and someone's having a really good day or a really good month or a really good year at the same time, that balance between their positivity and your internal dialogue can be really tough. So when you're having a good time, remember that other people are struggling. And if that sense of awesomeness gets too big, that can be really overwhelming. And if that sense of awesomeness is so small that it's difficult to be around other people, be kind to yourself in that place too. So our talk about recovery this week is really about how small and delicate that process can be and how big and heavy that process can be. So the important thing is to remember to stay kind, to be good to yourself on the inside, and try to spread as much empathy and engagement as you can in this world in these weird, difficult times. And I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I hope to hear some thoughts and comments on our video, and I appreciate you showing up today.